Hello everybody, my name is David. I am an instructor here at CDK, and we did a video a while back about hand wraps. Now our hand wraps here. We've had several questions. The angles were a little off and people weren't able to see what really the angles that I should wrap my hands in. So we're gonna do another one today, but we're gonna answer a couple questions that have come up about that video. One of the questions was, hey David, there's a lot of different hand wraps out there. Which hand wrap do I use? Well, a lot of that is your personal preference, your choice. There are different styles and different lengths. Now I suggest if you do have smaller hands, you go with a smaller hand wrap. It just means that it takes a lot less revolution around your hand and your hands are less bulky by using a big wrap with a small hand. So they make your Everlast hand wraps, and you can clearly see the size difference between the two. These, I believe, are 120 inches. Now, your average to mid-size hands, larger hands, you're gonna use about a 180-inch hand wrap. These 180-inch hand wraps are good, but they come in different styles. They're a little stretchy, but they're mainly a cloth material. And that's your typical average hand wrap. You can also get the hand wraps that are considered Mexican style hand wraps, which are stretchy. You can see these are more like an ace bandage. Some people prefer these, some people don't. It's your choice on what you like to use. The pros and cons, these tend to, when you wrap your Mexican style hand wraps, they tend to stretch really easy and they feel really good when you're first applying them, but they tighten up. And they can cause a lot of pressure on your hands throughout your usage. That's typically why I kind of stay away from them. I don't really prefer them, but some people like them really, really tight. But those are, once again, your really stretchy Mexican style. The typical ones that I like to use here are your average cloth ones. These here, these actually say Krav Maga on them, and they're really good hand wraps. They have the Velcro on them also. A lot of them come with this side down, which is good for having your Velcro end up in the right spot. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna change the view and apply this hand wrap so you guys can see. So typically I like to roll it out. You wanna come in? Good. So, as we're here, of course, we're gonna say this side down. I'm gonna wrap this side down. Now, one thing I see, guys, is that some of you guys wrap them underneath. We'd like to avoid that underneath because as you make a fist, this will get loose. So we wanna keep it tight the whole time. Therefore, I'm gonna wrap over top of the wrist and the thumb. This way, if I make a fist, it's just gonna stay tight. Now I'm gonna wrap 3 times around my wrist. 1, 2, and 3. Very important with hand wraps, there's 2 major things that we want to protect. We want to protect the wrist and we want to protect the knuckles. So I'm going to do a good solid 3 times around. I'm going to end up on the bottom as I come across the bottom. I'm going to go over the top of my hand. From this position here, I'm going to wrap 3 times around my knuckles. 1, 2, and 3. Now this is a long wrap, so I'm going to be able to use all of the wrap. I'm gonna go from the end of the pinky, wrapping it across the bottom. I'm gonna bring it over top the thumb. Remember, we're still protecting all the knuckles. Wrap once completely around the thumb, go around the wrist. Another time, around the thumb, around the wrist. Some people prefer 3 times around the thumb. I'm gonna do 3. And over the wrist. Now my wrist is really getting firm right now. This is good, a good position to be in because this makes sure that I don't jam my wrist as I strike. From here, I like to wrap in between one finger, bring it across the bottom, go to the second middle finger, across the bottom, and then end up between my pointer and my middle finger. From this position here, I'm still bringing it across the bottom. Now I'm gonna tie everything in. I'm gonna wrap it 1 time around the top of my hand and across my knuckle. This brings everything in place here. Once I come across the knuckle, I'm gonna come across the bottom pad of my hand and start crisscross patterns between my wrist and the top of my hand. Once I get a little bit of length in this position here, I should have a little bit of hand wrap left. I'm gonna wrap and finish around the wrist. When I'm done, I'm gonna make a nice tight fist, hit it a couple times, make sure it feels nice and good, and that is how I put on a hand wrap. Please comment in below if you have any comments at all, or you'd like to see anything or questions, about, hey, I'm missing this, do I need this type of length? Please add it in below. Check subscribe so we can actually give you feedback, positive feedback, and have the word out there that, hey, we're trying to help the entire Krav Maga martial arts community. Once again, I'm David. If you have any questions, please hit us up. Thanks.